Alright, last video we built a domain controller, and in this video I'm going to build one or two server. And these two server will join the domain. Okay, let's get started. So let's create the VM. So the first box, let's call it DB01. It's going to be some kind of database server. So the Windows operating system, same thing, we're going to choose other Windows 64-bit and go to next. Let's give it 2 gig. Next, virtual, just take a default, then I'm allocated. Let's give it 8 is fine. Just it's dynamic allocated. It doesn't use that much. Okay. All right. So let's go to setting, advanced. So we don't have to do that, but just for handy. Okay. We don't want this floppy processor, 2 processors, display. Let's go to the max. And storage. So all right, so let's mount the Windows 2022 preview. Audio, no. Network, so we're gonna use host only adapter. Okay, all right, so let's start install the operating system. So start. Okay, all right, let's do another one. New DB02. 64-bit, other, window, next, T3, next, create, okay, and 2, okay. All right, so let's go to setting as well, advanced, bidirectional, system, 2 CPU, display, max, storage. Let's mount this the ISO files, audio, no, network. Gonna choose host only adapter, so click OK. So let's boot up the DB02 as well. Okay. All right, let's go back to the DB01. So just next, we'll start the install. All right, so let's go back to number 2. Minimize this. Okay. So DB1, we can use the data center. Next. And accept license. Next. Custom install. Pick up the default hard disk. Okay, so I'm gonna start. Okay, let's go to O2. Do the same thing. Let's see. We give 2 gig memory. Yeah, so let's go to next. Install. All right, let's go to the DB01. Okay, it's copying files. Okay, DB02. Let's go to the second box. Accept the license agreement. Same thing. Next. let me use this, change the, once the server is up, we're going to change to DHCP to static IP address. So let's pick up our address. So, so we're going to use, let's see, we're going to use, let me turn off the speaker. All right, so let's see, we're gonna use 51, okay, and 52. All right, so let's see, let's do copy the file. Let's go to the O1 to see it's finished. DB01. Okay, it's installing features, update, installing updates, and finishing up. Okay, let's restart it. So you see, it's the install is fairly quick. You know, a minute also, and now you can have the enter the password for the administrator, and then you can log on to the new VM. Let's see, this is 94% of DB02. Let's back to DB01. It's almost there. All right, the DB01 is ready to log in to set the password. Okay, let's go to, once again, you will enter a healthy password. Okay, so let's finish. All right, so ready to log on. Okay, let's go to the login screen. We're gonna use administrator for the first time. Okay, O2 probably is almost ready as well. So let's take a look. Yeah, it's getting ready. Let's focus on the 01, DB01. Okay. So, all right. So let's see the network. Okay, I'm gonna close those windows. Managing server manager property. Click OK. So let's minimize this window. All right, so let's go to the network. Okay, so network. So we're gonna change from dynamic IP to static IP. So change adapter setting. Double click property. IP version 4 property. So change from dynamic to static. So it's going to be 194. If you're not sure, let's go to the current IP address. So I'm going to open the CMD window. So and type the command ipconfig. So this is dynamic, so we're going to change it to fixed. Okay, so 192.168.56, 51. So we're going to choose the 51, 166, 56. So next one, 51 is static IP. So this is net mask. So let's also give a default gateway. 192.168.56.1. Then we're gonna choose the DNS server address. So we're gonna choose the one we built last time. So it's gonna be 192. That is the domain controller server. 56 and 31. So this address is going to be used to join the domain. Okay. So let's click OK. Close. All right. So close. Okay. So let's pin the server. Okay. Let's pin the server the controller. So the controller is 31. Okay, it's pinnable. All right, so we changed the name. Let's change the the computer name. So let me make the taskbar use a small task. Okay. So to change the computer name, let's just go to the this computer. Let's go to the rename this PC, right? So we're gonna not this. We need all the systems advanced system settings. Okay, this is for rename this PC advanced. Okay, let's go to the change. So we're gonna call it DB01 and join this domain. The domain we call what is my home, I think, my home lab dot edu. Okay, and click OK. So we're gonna use the SA password, SA user and the password. Okay. It's typically a system admin work, right? And all non-networking elements. So let's click OK. All right. So it says welcome to the my home lab edu.domain. So it's successful. Okay. Then they will ask you to restart your computer. Okay. Let's close this. Restart later. Okay. So this joined. Let's work on the O2. So same thing. Set up the password for this administrator. Okay, let's finish. All right, let's go back to O1. Oh, this is already up, so we can log in. All right, so okay. Try one more time. So this is O1. So I'm gonna restart this O1. Okay, let's do a restart. Okay, a planned. Continue. Start anyway. So okay, let's do the same thing. Okay. See, I'm gonna use a small task button. All right. Let's do the network first. We're gonna change the dynamic to static IP. Okay, change adapter option, property, IP version 4 property. So let's use the static IP. So we're gonna 192.168.56. So this one I'm gonna give 52. then subnet 192 default gateway 168.156.1. Same thing, we're going to use the DNS address. It's going to be 192.168.56.31. All right, let's click OK, close. All right, so let's change the computer name now. All right, to change computer name, let's see, there's many ways to do that. Let's go to let's go to the server manager though. So server manager, local server, computer name, change. So we're gonna call it db02 domain. Domain, it is my home lab.edu. Okay. Click OK. This is gonna prompt you the user has the typically the domain admin to join the domain. Okay. So all right. Okay, it's joined. Let's try OK. OK. Close. Restart now. Okay, let's restart O2. Okay, let's back to O1. Let's log on to the domain user now. So we're gonna use other user. So we're gonna SA. You see, sign on the home lab domain. Okay. All right. All right. So let's go to another server. Same thing. We're gonna use the domain user now. Yeah, basically we are trying to create a domain. So in this way, it's kind of simulate a company environment or organization, So you have domain controller, you have computer join the domain, so you can log on to any of these servers if if you have the privilege to. So anyway, let's change this as well. So the tool server is ready. So the next, what I'm going to plan to do is to create a cluster for these two server. So let's do some prepare. So to let's start with DB02. So again, we're gonna start to add a row and features. Let me go back to my document. So join the domain, completed. All right, reboot completed. We may also need to change the firewall setting. So that's fine for now. So let's see. The next one is gonna be enable the failover feature. Okay, failover clustering feature. Okay, so let's save this file. Okay, so go to next. Go to next. So this is the DB01, my home lab.edu. This is IP address. Go to next. So we're not going to pick up any rows. We're gonna use the feature. Okay, the feature is failover clustering. So we're gonna pick up this one, add this feature. Okay, you might pick up this one as well, multipath I/O. So I'm gonna skip this time, but let's add this feature. Okay, install. And so next video, I think I'm gonna create the shared disk, set up the SCSI target, and then build a cluster for DB01 and 02. But this video I just do some prep work as well. Okay, so while it is running, let's work on another one. To the DB02, the same thing. Add a row and a feature. Next. DB02, my homelab.edu52 is my address. Next. Go to failover clustering. So enable failover clustering. Okay. And next, install. Okay. So last time when we did this domain controller install, so we enable the firewall. So basically, if you work in the Virtualbox environment, sometimes you might want interact from your host to to the guest system. So this is my host environment, and so let's see if you want to log on to this the guest environment. Of course, you can use the Virtualbox that GUI. So, but sometimes you want to use different way, like the RDP. Okay, let's just use a short example while that other things are running. So first, let's see. I ping the 192. Let's just use the name ping DC22. You get a ping from your the host environment to your guest. And also you can do a connection, use the typical RDP, right? MSTSC minus VDC22. See, you can connect using the RDC remote desk control as well. Okay, let's just run test as well. But in the future, you can also test connection for the SQL Server as well. Okay, so now you are in the domain controller environment. Let me just terminate this one. All right, so let's go back to the install DB01 feature install successful. Okay, let's do. So if we go to the tools, you will see failover cluster manager. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let me also close this window. So from the failover class manager, next video we're gonna do the create the cluster, So and let's go to another one. See, it's already. I think it's finished as well. Let's DB. Oh, I think I made a typo. Why it's called DB2? But that's okay. Let's change it back. Okay. So this is what I said. Work too much on the DB2 idea product. Okay. So let's see tools. failover cluster manager. So we're going to use those failover cluster to create the clusters later. Okay. So let's close this one. Let's correct my mistakes. So let's go to, before I do that, let's use this. All right. All right, let's go to server manager, local server. Oh, it is DB02. But why here is DB202? Oh, I think that is the virtual manager. So that's fine. So I believe everything's correct. And let's open a command window. PowerShell. It doesn't matter use CMD or PowerShell. Let's do a host name. Okay, so it's DB02. So I'm going to shut down this. Let me use here shut down. Okay. All right. So we created two Windows server and join the domain. So the next video, I'm going to create a cluster between 0, 1 and 0, 2. Okay, that's all for today.